I've always lived in fear of the IRS. I never made a lot of money, but I do know that I've cheated on my taxes. Many of my deductions aren't real. Even though I know everybody cheats, I'm being audited, and I had to sit down with an IRS agent, go over my records. The problem is I don't have good records. Many of my deductions are actually not accurate. Ends with, what can I do? And I would have to say that's kind of a problem.
This is an interesting question. First of all, I'd like to state that not everybody cheats on their taxes. Actually, most people don't. The reason why people do cheat, or the motivation for people to cheat on their taxes, is because they fear that they're going to have a tax bill that's too high for them to be able to pay, or too high of a tax liability to be affordable. What's happening in this case is that this taxpayer is already in an audit. And what this taxpayer, and basically every taxpayer, needs to know is that there's a mathematically correct answer for how much tax is due. The IRS is an organization that tries to ensure that the tax-paying population is paying the correct amount of tax due. So what's happened here is, here's a taxpayer who probably, because of the recession or for other reasons, was overly aggressive on their deductions. Now, if this taxpayer was intentionally cheating on their tax returns, and that seems to be maybe what they're implying here, that could be a fairly serious issue. The IRS can assert fraud penalties against the taxpayer, and fraud penalties are extremely expensive. The fraud penalties are up to 75% of the tax. So the IRS really tries to clamp down on tax cheaters. Now this taxpayer is already in an audit, and what this taxpayer needs to realize is that when they're dealing with the IRS auditor, they have to impart to the auditor that they want the right tax assessed just as the auditor wants the right tax assessed. In this case, there's deductions. It sounds like this taxpayer may be self-employed or has some Schedule A deductions like health expense or things like that that have to be reviewed by the auditor. So this taxpayer needs to gather whatever records they have to show what expenses they actually did have. It sounds like there will be an assessment here. There will be additional tax. But the way to resolve a tax problem is not to cheat on a tax return, not to file an incorrect tax return, not to possibly commit civil or criminal fraud on a tax return. File the correct return, and then deal with the collections issue of not being able to pay taxes with the IRS Collections Division. Don't get caught up in the trap of trying to file improper returns to minimize the tax liability. That just creates a bigger problem down the road.
Wow. Now, the way this question was sent in, it kind of sort of sounds like they went into the auditor and said, yeah, I just cheated. That's not really a good approach. In a situation like that, you're going to be on the phone to a tax attorney like Sam Landis saying help to keep you out of criminal problems.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very dangerous to kind of go to the IRS and do a mea culpa. You filed a tax return, you filed it under the penalty of perjury. If there's inaccuracies on the return, deal with those through the audit. Be open and honest at this point with the auditor and try and find out what the true and correct tax due is. What's interesting, although, is this question implies a much larger issue out there. And the much larger issue is a lot of people do file overly aggressive returns and take larger deductions that they may not be entitled to, for example, maybe on car and truck expenses or charitable contributions or healthcare expenses. What happens is that there's a lot of taxpayers out there that live in fear of being audited by the IRS. The statute of limitations for the IRS to audit a tax return generally is about 3 years. So if there's an aggressive tax return out there that's 4, 5, 6 years old, it's unlikely the IRS would audit it. Now, the IRS could audit returns that are more than 3 years old if there's something called a substantial understatement of the tax liability or a substantial overstatement of the deductions. And the level of substantial understatement or overstatement is 25%. So if a taxpayer reports, $75,000 of income and they actually earn $100,000 or $110,000 of income, then that would pop the 3-year statute of limitations and carry the statute of limitations for audit all the way back to 6 years. If the IRS asserts fraud, that this was a fraudulent tax return, there is no statute of limitations. The IRS is not bound by statute of limitations if the taxpayers are out there committing fraud. But the burden of proof to prove fraud falls on the IRS's shoulders, not on the taxpayer's shoulder that fraud wasn't committed. So the IRS is very careful and very judicious in the way they assert fraud because they know that the burden of proof lies and rests with them, the IRS, not with the taxpayer. So that's kind of an interesting thing. I actually had a case where the taxpayers were worried about, this was a very, very large tax return, but the taxpayers were worried about how they classified a $1 million plus transaction. The statute of limitations ran out and the issue never came up. But there's people out there who live with a lot of anxiety.
I would like to have $1 million tax question. That would be my biggest thrill in life. And in talking to Sam Landis, tax attorney and tax law professor, we find again and again and again, if you're a taxpayer that's got a problem with the IRS or you're afraid of a problem with the IRS, If anything comes up, you get letters, you get notices, phone calls, whatever. Your best bet is to just head on get it dealt with so that it doesn't hang. Because the longer something stays in the system, the more red flags there are.
Absolutely. And in this type of case, I feel like many tax problems can be resolved by taxpayers themselves, but in this kind of case, it sounds like there's larger risks out there. This type of taxpayer needs to actually speak to a tax attorney. They're going to need the protection of attorney-client privilege, and they don't get that from a regular accountant, enrolled agent, or tax resolution company. This type of person, you know, they seem to have a lot of guilt feelings about the way they file the return. Maybe it is a very aggressive or possibly a fraudulent return. This taxpayer should actually go out and seek help and invoke the attorney-client privilege.